But a lot of people always say, well, geez, what happens if I'm going to work past
That's
65?
Exactly it. What if I'm going to keep working? I love my job, and I want to keep going.
So kind of like you. So
Right, of course, I'm never going to retire. I assure you, as you get closer to that retirement age, your mind starts thinking about things, and you start shifting that mindset. If you work for yourself or you're a small company and you don't have 20 or more employees, right?
Yep.
You still have to register for Part A and Part B.
That's correct.
But if they're over 20 employees and your employer does offer you credible insurance.
We're saying credible insurance. You're like, well, what's that? Well, I have insurance. What part's not credible?
So let's recap.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Brad and Mike Show. I'm Mike Ritter, and
I'm Brad Bachman.
So thanks for obviously tuning in regards to this. Pretty much today, just what we're going to do is kind of give you an idea as far as where this podcast for us is really going to head. Our whole design behind this podcast, I think, Brad, when we pretty much came up with this idea to do the podcast, was to help people understand different insurances better. Kind of how does my insurance work? How does this work? How does that work? Along those lines, where it really kind of got the most legs and traction were from a lot of people that were turning 65 and getting to Medicare. And I think that's pretty much what kind of gave us the whole idea to, hey, let's put a podcast together, because in many cases, people always have the same question.
Yeah. It really, to your point, it really came down to how many phone calls we were getting, and we noticed a pattern. People are always asking basically the same questions. Hey, I'm turning 65. What do I do?
You know what? My kid's turning 26 and they're coming off of our health insurance.
My employer is, my health insurance at my employer costs too much. What should I do?
Yeah. Or, I'm going to be disabled, or I need life insurance, or, I need pet insurance. What do I do? How do I find this stuff?
Or inevitably, I'm pregnant right now, and, I'd like to buy some disability. We'll get into that one.
Yeah.
But,
so Brad,
it is poignant for me.
It is poignant for you.
Next year, I will be aging in. I don't feel 65. I don't know if there's a feel to being 65 or not. In here, still 26.
Sure.
These remind me, yes, I am getting close to 65. That said, as you age in, there are some things you have to be aware of. Timelines.
Yeah.
There are timelines. So, Mike, what's the timeline?
Oh, that's always the biggest question for people. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm turning 65. What do I do? So here's the thing. When you turn 65, you basically have an enrollment period, which is 7 months long. So how this kind of works is that the first 3 months prior to the month of your birthday. So in your situation, you're going to be turning 65 in April.
At the end of April.
At the end of April. Right. So what happens is your month of April, you count them 3 months back. So basically you have January, February, and March.
Yep.
Your month of your birthday, which is April, then May, June, and July. So basically you got a 7-month window for you to actually enroll into Medicare Part A and Part B. So it's important for you to do this, because what ends up happening is most people kind of get caught off guard and they're like, well, I turned 65. What do I do now?
Right.
Oh, well.
Okay. Well, so, and we do get those questions.
Sure.
People say, well, I'm turning 65. What do I do?
Yep.
You have to go to the Social Security Administration, and you can go to the SSI website, or you can set an appointment and go into the office, but you have to register with the Social Security Administration.
Yes. So that's.
And what do you get when you register?
You get a lollipop.
You do get a lollipop. No, you get a red, white, and blue card. You get your Medicare card. You have to have that card.
Yes.
Once you have that card, once you registered with Social Security Administration and you get your red, white, blue card, they'll send it to you in the mail. It takes, about 2 weeks?
Yeah, more or less. I mean, it takes a little bit of time to get, but at the same point, once you go in, you sign it up. Now, you can go in or you can go online, just like Brad said. It's ssa.gov is
Actually,
where
we have a
go.
link on our website, bradandmike.com.
Ah, very good. There we go. Shout out.
Shout out to ourselves.
There you go.
That being said, once you register so you got 3 months before your birthday, the month of your birthday, and 3 months after to register for Part A, Part B, and Part D, depending on your circumstance.
So let's chat a little bit about, what's Part A, what's Part B, because I think that's what a lot of people start to get into. It's like, well, what is it? What is Part A and Part B? And I think
fair question.
So really what Part A and Part B is what they call is original Medicare. So this basically are going to be the parts of Medicare. Part A is going to be for your hospitals. Part B is going to be for your doctors. And those are going to be the things that in the event that all you do is you sign up for Medicare, it's going to be Part A and Part B. That's going to basically cover only 80% of the costs associated with Medicare. So if you have a situation and you're hospitalized and you have a bill and it's $10,000, well, original Medicare is only going to cover roughly 80% of that. And if that happens to be the case, you're going to get a bill for $2,000 that you're going to have to be responsible for.
That's correct.
Which if you're on a budget, that's going to be a big number.
It can be a stretch.
Sure it can. But if it's a bigger number, so if it's no longer 10,000, if it's 100,000.
And let's be real here. If you have a major health event, a catastrophic injury or illness, it's very likely your bill will be in excess of $10,000.
You are correct on that.
Yes.
Yep.
It's very likely.
So with that being the case, you're going to pay 20% of that.
That's correct.
And so that's kind of where we look at it to say, okay, original Medicare Part A and Part B are only going to cover this. And where a lot of people say, well, what do I do to take care of that other 20%? And we'll kind of get into that on a different show. Sure. But that's where you get into your Medicare supplements and your Medicare Advantage, as well as your prescription drug plans. So we'll get into that later. But the most important thing we really wanted to touch on today is, what happens? I'm turning 65. And so we kind of told you as far as how you got to get signed up going to the Social Security Administration. Yeah. But a lot of people always say, well, geez, what happens if I'm going to work past 65?
Exactly it. What if I'm going to keep working?
Yeah.
What do
you do?
I don't want to retire. I want to keep working. I love my job. And I want to keep going.
So kind of like you. So
right, of course, I'm never going to retire. I assure you, as you get closer to that retirement age, your mind starts thinking about things and you start shifting that mindset. But aside from that, if you are going to continue to work and your employer offers you insurance and it's deemed credible coverage, you don't have to.
Well, you don't have to sign up for Parts A and B as long as your employer has 20 or more employees.
There's always these rules.
Ding, 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 ding,
That's
ding, ding.
right. There are the rules. And you have to understand this. If you work for yourself or you're a small company and you don't have 20 or more employees, right?
Yep.
You still have to register for Part A and Part B.
That's correct.
But if they're over 20 employees and your employer does offer you credible insurance, you can keep on keeping on.
So credible insurance, why don't we touch on that a little bit? This is going to be one of those things that we're saying credible insurance. You're like, well, what's that? Well, I have insurance. What part's not credible? So within the actual healthcare plan, it's really going to go around the prescription drug or what we call as Medicare Part D. So it's a conversation that you're going to have with HR, and normally on an annual basis, they should be giving you some form of information that says whether or not your current healthcare plan meets the laws of credible coverage for the prescription drug. Now, if it does not, basically at that point in time, then that's going to be a different conversation altogether. And then you're going to actually have to enroll in Part A as well as then pick up a Part D to remain compliant. If you do not, there's a penalty that you actually pay for not enrolling in Part D or not having credible coverage. So just be aware of that. So if you're going to continue to work past 65, you have credible coverage. You found that out with your actual
and all you have to
company.
do is ask HR. Just ask HR. Hey, is our insurance XYZ company, is there credible coverage? I'm going to be like, what? And you're like, well, I'm turning 65. And they're going to be like, oh, okay. They know this.
Yes.
They know this. They deal with this all the time. For whatever reason, you get jammed up and they don't know this. So just call us and we'll call them and we'll explain what it is you're looking for.
Yeah, call Brad.
Call Brad. Call me.
Or Mike.
Or Mike.
Anyway.
But all that said, those are the rules.
Sure.
However, there are always a couple of spins on things. What if I'm in an employer and my employer offers a couple different health plans and I have an HSA?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so now what? What are the rules that govern if I have an HSA at my employer and I'm contributing a certain amount each year to my health savings account to offset my exposure, right? Because now health savings account, we all know, is a high deductible health plan, very high deductible. Everything comes out of my pocket until I hit that high deductible. But I can put money away in a bank that accrues interest that I can use to offset my exposure on that high health care plan. What happens if I have an HSA at my workplace?
Well, it's going to depend on a couple of things. So this is going to get back to whether or not you're in a group of 20 or more, 20 or less.
Let's just say I'm over 20 or more.
So if you're over 20 or more and you don't actually sign up for Medicare Parts A and Part B and aren't taking Social Security at that point in time, you can continue contributing to your HSA. However, once you decide and you're going to enroll in those different Parts A, Part B, let's say you're under 20 lives and you're going to enroll in Parts A and Part B, you are no longer eligible to contribute. So the word here is contribute to your HSA. You can keep your HSA. It's your money.
It's my money.
It's your money.
It's my money. It's in an account. I can use that money for my exposure or my healthcare plan.
Yes.
After I retire, I can use it for?
You can use it for your Medicare costs and that type of thing, your co-pays, as well as on all that type of stuff. So you can still use the money. You just can't contribute. That's really the key.
Once I take Medicare, I can no longer contribute to it.
That's correct.
I know it was a long, windy road to get there, but that's what we were shooting for. Because people have HSAs.
Sure they do.
A lot of companies have moved to HSAs, to curb costs.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and a lot of companies these days are wanting to do that, and they're actually helping to contribute towards the actual HSA. So they might give the employee $50 or $100 per month towards their HSA, which builds. And the beauty of an HSA is it's your own money. You don't lose that. There's not a lose it or use it type of situation. You can have those funds in there for as long as you want to keep those funds in there, and then use those for medical expenses that you're going to have during your retirement years. Great way to do that for sure.
So let's recap.
Yeah.
Then I'm turning 65. I am turning 65. You're turning 65, and you don't know what to do.
I'm not yet.
Yeah, not yet. Not for him, but for me. So you got a 7-month window. 3 months before your birthday, the month of your birthday, and 3 months after your birthday.
Yep.
Go to Social Security Administration. You can log into our website, bradandmike.com, and there's a link right in there to the Social Security Administration. Put all your information in, or you can make an appointment and actually go to a Social Security office. There are many throughout Metro Detroit that you can go to. You make an appointment, you go in. I'm just kind of like going to the Secretary of State. Yeah, it's wise to make an appointment. And then you go in and you register. And then you get a red, white, and blue card in the mail.
That's right.
And it has your Medicare number. I don't know why they don't laminate it, but it's paper.
It's the same as your Social Security card style thing.
Is.
So, but yeah, it's important. It's important that you have it, because that's really your. So if you, let's say, don't actually choose to get a Medicare supplement or a Medicare Advantage, that's basically your ID card to go in to receive treatment. So it's important that you keep it. It's a very important card. But at the same time, if you ever do want to enroll into a Medicare supplement or a Medicare Advantage plan, you're going to need your Medicare ID number. You're going to need that number in order to do that. That's kind of your golden ticket, like back in the day with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
There you go.
Your golden ticket. Charlie, you got a ticket.
Okay, Veruca Salt. There are always a lot of questions that we get on a day-to-day basis. And we thought the idea behind the podcast would be for us to address those questions, talk about it, and try to make sense of it. We promise that these podcasts are going to be short and sweet. We don't want to do more than 10, 15 minutes.
Yes.
We'll be clear about what each episode is going to review, so that you can sift through and decide what makes sense for you to watch or not.
Oh yeah. Or the reality is you're not going to get a 25-year-old that's going to be like, hey, let me listen to a Medicare podcast because I'm right there.
First of all, we're probably not going to get any 25-year-olds anyhow. But maybe if they're if you're coming off your parents' health insurance plan, you don't know what to do.
There you go.
We'll
Give
have
us
a podcast for that, for sure.
Yeah, reach out to us or hit our website at bradandmike.com, and we'll definitely be happy to help you if you got questions. Or at the same time, if you just want to go to our website and just kind of tool around and see what's available, feel free to do that as well.
Yeah.
We're not going to be out, tracking you down on that type of thing, but we basically made our website and kind of this podcast as an informative tool to help you be able to make the best informed decisions. We're really here at the end of the day to help you make decisions. That's really the end of it. But, tune in, obviously, for the next episodes as we're kind of going through. Take a look at the different podcasts that are available. We're pretty much out on Apple. We're on YouTube and all that type of stuff. So wherever you find us, you can pretty much take a look to see exactly all the different plans that are available, and we'll pretty much be able to hopefully answer a lot of those questions.
We will answer your questions. You've got questions.
We've got answers.
We've got answers. Very good.
Yes,
well, thanks so much for tuning in.
Yep.
Stay tuned for the next episode of the
Brad and Mike Show. And I'm Mike Ritter.
I'm Brad Bachman.